Hello all, welcome to our another new video series where we are going to discuss about 12th level mathematics. We have collected questions from different exams, like we are initially going to start with 12th board exam of CBSE. We have collected a few previous year questions and one by one we are going to discuss in this video series. So hope you are going to enjoy all videos. So today we are going to start with the very first question, which was asked in the CBSE 12th board exam in 2025, right? This question is from Matrix and Determinant. So question number 1 to 10 in this series. First, all these questions are going to be from Matrix and Determinant. Then slowly we will change topic and we will collect different questions from different years, maybe different board across in India. So maybe in future questions from international boards. Okay. So the purpose of this video series is to learn mathematics as simple as possible, right? So question number 1, if b equals to, this is a matrix given, okay, this is a matrix and this is another matrix, and these two matrices are multiplied. Nothing means here multiplication is there, and or we denote it as using dot product, right? So if b equals to this multiplication of this, then the order of b is, so simply it has asked us to identify out of this 4 option what is the correct option for the order of b. So order of b means, order of b, what is the meaning of this one is, what is the dimension of the resultant matrix. Okay, so we already know a matrix is denoted as capital letters of English alphabet like this. Okay, so where each element we denote it as aij, where a is the element and I is the row number and j is the column number. So what is a matrix? Matrix is an arrangement of elements in a two-dimensional array. Two-dimensional array means it will have a column and a row. Like every element of the matrix is going to be identified based on its column index and row index. Okay, so for example, I am taking, this is a matrix of 4 cross 3. Why it is 4 cross 3? Because it is having 4 rows. These are 4 rows. Okay, and 3 columns. These are 3 columns. Okay, suppose here if you'll notice every element looks like same, right? All are circle here. Okay, so how can I identify which circle, or in some discussion if I want to refer some element in this matrix, how can I refer it? Using a row index and column index, right? So rows are denoted as numbers, like we can say this is the first row, this is the second row, this is the third row, this is the fourth row, right? We have 4 rows in this example, and columns are denoted as like this: first column, second column and third column, right? So if you notice here, these set of numbers are called indexes of columns and we denote it as using j, right? So as we have mentioned here aij, so here j refers to the column number and I refers to the row numbers. Like we have set of row numbers here like 1 to 4, and these set of numbers refer to the I. This is I here, right? So if we just want to identify an element in this matrix, how can we identify is, Suppose I want to refer, or I just want to mean this circle or this element, right? So how can I write in notation, or how can I refer that element through some notation like a I j, as I said. So I want to mean this element. So this element is present at second row, third column. So that is why I can mention here element a, second row, third column, like that, a 2 3, right? So like that, every other elements we can represent here the same way, right? So for example, I can mention the first row, first column. So that will be a 1 1, first row, second column, a 1 2, third first row, third column, a 1 3. So hope this way you can fill all those elements indices of all those elements, right? Though next element I can mention here second row, first column, like a 2 1, like that, a 2 2, a 2 3, similarly a 3 1, a 3 2, a 3 3. So a 4 1, a 4 2, a 4 3, like that. So here indices represents their column number and row number, right? This is a short introduction about what is a matrix, how we represent a matrix, and what are the notations we follow to represent a standard matrix. So next, the dimension, as I said, like you can notice here 4 cross 3, I have mentioned here 4 cross 3. So 4 cross 3 means 4 rows, 3 columns. Always we first write the number of rows present and next is column. Like in this place, the very first place we refer, the first number we refer it as row number, a number of rows, and the second number here in the dimension we refer it as column counts, or number of columns present in the matrix. So that is why we can mention here, or we can write here, A is a matrix of order 4 cross 3. A is a matrix of order 4 cross 3, right? So if we see here, the given matrix is B. B is a matrix in the question it has given. It is a multiplication of two matrices, right? 23, like 23, 41, and 57. This is the first matrix, 57. The second matrix given, it is a 2 cross 3 matrix. 2 cross 3 matrix. So 31, 42, 31, 42. Next is 53, 64, 53, 64. Then 75, 86, 75, 86. Okay. So first of all, we should have knowledge about what is its dimension, as I explained before. So from that knowledge, we can say that the first matrix, suppose I am denoting it as A matrix. This is the A matrix and this is C matrix. This is the matrix C. Okay. So can I say here A is a matrix of 1 cross 3? Yes, because the first matrix represents to A, suppose, then it is having one row only and 3 column. One row and 3 column. In the second matrix that I am referring as C, it is having 3 rows and 2 columns. 3 rows, 2 columns, right? So this is the dimensional representation of a matrix. Like the first matrix I represented as A, second matrix is C, then A is having the dimension 1 cross 3 and C is having the dimension 3 cross 2, right? So now question is, The order of B. What is the order of B? Like, to understand what is the resultant matrix, I'm just briefly explaining about how we do the multiplication in a matrix, right? Let's say we take a matrix X and another matrix Y. Two matrix I'm taking, one matrix X and another matrix Y. So we have some elements in this matrix and some elements in this Y matrix, right? We just want to multiply both the matrix. This notation you can refer, or we simply say this notation dot. Either you can use this notation or you can use this notation, right? So suppose I am having 9 elements here. The first 3 element is like this. So suppose I just want to multiply this two matrix, right? So first of all, I just want to mention its dimension or order. So what is its dimension? Because it is having 3 rows and 3 columns. So I can say this is a 3 cross 3 matrix. This is a 3 cross 3 matrix. This is also a 3 cross 3 matrix, right? So how we perform the matrix multiplication is, first element, or we can say the ith row or first row first column element, or I am referring it as x 1 1. Similarly, this is x 1 2, this is x 1 3. Similarly, this is x 2 1, this is x 2 2, this is x 2 3, and this is x 3 1, x 3 2, x 3 3, like that. This is similarly y 1 1, y 1 2, y 1 3. This is y 2 1, y 2 2, y 2 3, and this is y 3 1, y 3 2, y 3 3, like that. These are the elements of this two matrix x and y, and our job is to perform matrix multiplication of this two matrix, right? So how we are going to multiply is, we have to take the first row first column of first matrix with the first row first column of second matrix, like that. We have to multiply with this and this. Then again we have to do multiplication with the this element, and you have to multiply with this element, right? So finally you have to add all those things. Okay, so for example, here the resultant matrix, suppose I am denoting it as R, then in the resultant matrix, what is the first element I am going to get? That is x 1 1 into y 1 1 plus x 1 2 into y 2 1 plus x 1 3 into y 3 1. This is the first element. This element will be multiplied with this one. This element will be multiplied with this one. Then this element will be multiplied with this one. And we have to make it addition. This will be the second element of the row. Or we can say second row first element. Like here, x 21 dot y 11 plus x 22 dot y 21 plus x 23 dot y31, like that. Again, we have to multiply x31 with y1, x32 with y2, x33 with y31, like that. So all this kind of multiplications we know. So this is how we are going to multiply. So x31 dot y11 plus x32 dot y21 plus x33 dot y31. So hope you understand how it is, or how we are performing matrix multiplication element wise, or how we are multiplying elements of the one matrix with the another matrix. Okay, so these are the first column elements of the resultant matrix, right? Again, same thing, same repetition we are going to perform with the every rows of x with every columns of y matrix, right? So by this way I can complete rest of the elements, like here I'll get an element, here I'll get an element, here I'll get an element, here, here and here. All total 9 elements I will get it here, right? Why 9 elements, or why its dimension is 3 cross 3? Because if you'll observe here, what we are trying to do, we are multiplying elements in a fashion that, suppose this element we are multiplying with this one, and we are multiplying this one with this one, this one with this one, like that. If we had like more number of elements in the rows of the y matrix, like that, then we would have multiplied another element of x with this one. Yes or no? So from this multiplication fashion, you might have observed that the number of elements present in a row in the first matrix, or we can say the number of columns, must be equals with the number of rows in the second matrix, or in this case y. So that is the only condition we must have, that is the only condition while we are multiplying two matrices. So we have to take care that the matrix multiplication we are trying to perform, that the first matrice's number of columns must be equals with the number of rows of the second matrix, right? So then only matrix multiplication will be performed. So in this case, so here the number of columns in the x matrix is 3, which is equals to with the number of rows in the second matrix. That is why matrix multiplication was possible. So now what is the dimension we are going to have in the resultant matrix? That is the rest of the number we get it here, like 3 and cross 3, right? So that will be the, this will be the row of the resultant matrix, and this will be the column of the resultant matrix. So that is why it will be 3 cross 3, right? So I hope all of you can understand this one. So I'm taking another example. Suppose I have a matrix A, and with dimension 3 cross 4, and another matrix I have, that is B, with 3 cross 5. Now tell me whether the matrix multiplication is possible in between these two matrices. It is not. Why? Because the number of columns in the matrix A, or the first matrix, is not equals to number of rows present in the second matrix, or in this case B. So 4 is not equals to 3. So that is why in this case matrix multiplication is not possible. In this case not possible, right? In this case not possible. So same thing, if I'll ask A is having dimension 3 cross 4 and B is having 4 cross 2, then is there any matrix multiplication possible? Then we can say yes, it is possible, because here the number of columns in the first matrix is equals to number of rows in the second matrix. That is why here matrix multiplication possible, right? So what is the resultant matrix dimension? This will be, or the multiplication of AB will be of dimension 3 cross 2. Why 3 cross 2? So you might have observed from this example. From this example you might have observed, because the number of rows here, we are going to get those many number of elements in the row, or those many rows in the resultant matrix, right? And how many columns of this will be in the second matrix will be there, those many columns we are going to get it here. Like from this matrix multiplication you might have observed. So this is the fundamental behind to find the order or dimension of a resultant matrix, correct? So let's come to our question number 1. So it has asked, this has asked what is the order of B. So B is a resultant matrix. The first matrix dimension is 1 cross 3 and the second matrix dimension is 3 cross 2. So if we can observe here, the number of columns in the first matrix is equals to the number of rows in the second matrix, right? So that is why here matrix multiplication is possible. And then what is the resultant matrix dimension, or what is the order of the resultant matrix? The resultant matrix is of dimension 1 cross 2. We have to take the count from rows numbers from the first matrix and column numbers from the second matrix. Then this will be the answer, 1 cross 2, right? So D is the correct answer. So why I made this video so long is because if you don't know anything about matrix, or if you have forgot the concept, so to recall all those things in a single video, so that you should able to understand the question also and the fundamentals behind this question also. That is why I made this video long. So hope you have enjoyed this video. So let's meet in another video with another question. So thank you so much for watching this, and best of luck for your exam.